Well, China says it wants peace in Ukraine, but only on Russia's terms. How is that going to be? The basic problem we see here is that China does not want Russia or Putin to appear to have failed. China views Russia as a key partner and counterbalance amid its own rising tensions with the West. While she has refused to condemn Moscow's invasion of Ukraine or call for the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine territory. On the other hand, Ukraine has underlined Kyiv's own peace formula, which includes an unequivocal call for the withdrawal of Russian troops and the return of their internationally recognized borders when he met with China's president this month.
President Lee's trip has laid bare the divisions between China and Europe when it comes to how peace can be reached and served to underline Beijing's close alignment with Moscow. Lee received a warm reception during his final stop in the Russian capital, where he previously spent a decade as China's ambassador, with Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Friday praising Beijing's balanced position on the war and readiness to play a positive role in its settlement. But across Europe, officials stressed a different point: the need for a peace that sees Russia withdraw its invading troops and Ukraine's legal territory restored, and their interest in seeing China throw its weight behind that vision, which it has yet to do.
Instead, President Lee, according to readouts from Beijing, called for building consensus, which is towards peace talks and strengthening Europe's own security architecture, while a veiled reference to China's view that Europe should not protect itself through institutions like NATO, which includes the United States but not Russia. The basic problem is that China does not want Russia or Putin to appear to have failed. A settlement that requires Russia to relinquish territories taken in the invasion would be a defeat for Russia. Well, this is what Steve Tsang, who is the director of the SOAS China Institute at the University of London, said. He goes on to say, as such, that that's not on the table of China. Tsang said, but Ukraine cannot accept anything that does not involve the restoration of its territories, and the EU is unwilling to see Russia's appearing to get away with territorial gains from its invasion.
China, which views Russia as a key partner and counterbalance amid its own rising tensions with the West, has refused to condemn Moscow's invasion of Ukraine or call for the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine territory, even as millions have been displaced and tens of thousands killed in the Kremlin's unprovoked onslaught into the country. That stance has horrified much of Europe, and Lee's talk comes as China has been attempting to repair relations there. A vaguely worded 12-point position paper on China's vision for the political settlement of the conflict, released earlier this year and promoted by Lee during his tour, said the legitimate security concerns of all countries should be addressed.
Well, that's not all. It also said that the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of all countries must be upheld. But crucially, it did not call for the withdrawal of Russian troops to end the hostility. Instead, it's advocating a ceasefire, a point Western critics have said is tantamount to allowing Russia to solidify its illegal territorial gains.
While critics of China's stance on how to end the conflict and its close relationship with Russia were implicit in summaries provided by European officials of their meeting with Lee, where they urged Beijing to align more with their views. By Polish Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Wojciech Gerwel said any attempt to equalize the status of Russia, the aggressor in the conflict, and Ukraine, the victim, are not acceptable.
Well, any meaningful way to end Russia's illegal war of aggression against Ukraine must be consistent with the UN Charter in its entirety, the EU Deputy Secretary General for Political Affairs Enrique Mora said in his meeting with the Chinese envoy. That's not all. Frederic Modoloni, who heads political and security affairs of France, sovereign foreign ministry, told Lee Paris was convinced China could play a role in a just and lasting peace between Ukraine and Russia. in particular on Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, while emphasizing that Moscow held full responsibility for the unleashing and continuation of this particular war.
Well, Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba too underlined Kyiv's own peace formula, which includes an unequivocal call for the withdrawal of Russian troops and the return of their internationally recognized borders when he met Lee earlier this month. When asked about Lee's tour on Friday, Mao Ning, a spokeswoman for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, said China's efforts towards peace talks have received broad understanding and support in the international community.
But while Beijing has insisted it remains neutral on the war, its close positioning with Russia and contentious relationship with the United States, whom it has accused of fueling the conflict by supporting Ukraine's defense, they have also raised questions over the intention behind its push for peace. Over the weekend, Kuleba addressed a report in the Wall Street Journal, the site Western officials saying Lee pushed his European interlocutors to urge an immediate ceasefire, which by extension would leave parts of Ukraine in Russia's control. Well, immediately they contacted the colleagues in the capital Lee visited, and all of them confirmed there that there had been no talks of negotiations about recognizing as Russia's territory in Ukraine. Well, Kuleba said in a video that he posted. He says, no one will do anything against us behind Ukraine's back because we have built trusting relationships with all our key partners.
Well, now, when asked about the news report in a press briefing on Monday, Mao from China's foreign ministry denied the Wall Street Journal's characterization of Lee's meeting and pointed instead China's own readout from the meetings. While China may have limited sway when it comes to changing views on the conditions of peace, observers say there are areas that Europe will welcome enhanced communications over, including food security, humanitarian relief, and pushing against nuclear threats.
Meanwhile, there remains hope that China could use its relationship with the Kremlin to push Putin towards peace, a view that most recently was trumpeted by the French President Emmanuel Macron during a visit to Beijing last week.